The answer is in the next line. This was a question. How do I become God's adorer? And Guru Nanak Dev Ji gives a technique in the next line. Amrit Vela Sach Naam Badiyai Vichar. What is Amrit Vela? Wrong understanding. You would have never thought that something like this can be scientific. Right? Amrit Vela. In Hindus it is called Sandhya. Yeah? Sandhya Kal or Madhya Kal. I'll explain Sandhya Kal. It is not the Sandhya you use in Hindi and Marathi. It is not that. No. In the morning, just before you wake up, moving from your dream come sleep state into the wakefulness state, there is a change in gears, literally. Yes? You can experience this change in gears if you become aware. I already gave you that homework, to be aware while you're asleep. There's a change in gears in the morning, where from the sleeping and dreaming state, you come into the wakefulness state. That little time is like few seconds. That is called Brahma Muhurat. That is Amrit Vela. And why is it called like that? In a dream, who is dreaming? Who dreams? Body dreams? Body is sleeping. Think again. Body is sleeping. Then mind. Dreams are nothing but thoughts. Okay. Mind is dreaming propelled by what? Okay. Whatever impression has been collected. Who collected the impressions? Ego. So who's dreaming? Ego is dreaming. Ego is high in dreams. Waking state, so ego is high. This we all know. In between, during that gear changing few seconds here, in between this sleep state and this wakefulness state, a gear changes. Like in a car, when you're driving, you change from fourth to neutral and then come to your second gear. Correct? That neutral gear is where the ego is diminished. And this has been proven by science. The same phenomena occurs in the night when you are lying down to go to sleep. Yeah? You're lying down and you've closed your eyes and you're thinking about whatever the last thoughts were and what happened before you were sleeping. And then thinking, and suddenly some gear changes and you go into your sleep starts, either dreaming or sleep, whichever way it goes into. There is no sound katak. I've just said it for emphasis. But it's while going to sleep, it's like a sinking feeling. If you are aware, you will be very, very clear about it. It's like a sinking feeling. And while waking up, it's like rising from something down below to up. In that moment, the ego is the least and you're closest to the self. You're getting this? That has been scientifically proved. So put these words in Google and read it up. Even they have said the ego is the least during these windows. They're just few seconds. Some people can go into hallucinations this time. So many things can happen during this time. Fantasies start or fantasies break when waking up in this time. Because the ego breaks. Yeah, that's how you come out of sleep. So hypnagogia is the one from in the night, that happens in the night while From the waking state, you are going into the sleep state, that is hypnagogia. Yeah? And the one that happens in the morning is hypnopompia. Start with the night. It's easier to do with that because you're aware in wakefulness state. Now you've lied down at 11 p.m. in the night. You're aware. So that awareness is maintained. Take this down as homework. You be aware while going to sleep. You lie down at 11 p.m. in the night. You're aware. You're seeing that I'm thinking about hypnopompia and hypnagogia because she spoke about it today. Yes, because that will be your thought. And you're thinking about just what happened or what you ate and where you're sleeping, some room. Because of the room also you get certain thoughts. Because of your own pillow you get previous thoughts. You've not cleaned up your bed sheet, you will have last night's thoughts. All that happens. So watch. You're going to sleep and something changes. Something changes. You get this sinking feeling. This is easier than the morning. Once you start recognizing this, now start sharpening your awareness that you can be aware all night. And you will come to a point where you are aware that you are dreaming. Many times happens to us, right? But then awareness again takes a back seat and you get lost in the dream. Then you'll become aware you're dreaming, you'll be aware you're sleeping, and right in the morning, before waking up, again, that wakefulness happens. Yeah, it's very interesting to see it. Very interesting. And it really explains why Hindus call it Sandhya Kal, Madhya Kal, and the same is called Amrit Vela. Because the consciousness changes gears, it's in neutral gear. That's where the ego is the least and you are closest to the self, closest to God, closest to isness actually. There's no other God really up there in the sky. You're closest to isness, that present moment, being here. And you can get established there very soon. But because people found this very, very tough, then Amrit Vela became between 3 a.m. to 4 a.m. get up and then we go in the morning and we sing bhajans. Yeah. That's how it changed because people found this super difficult to do. And awareness was not sharp. But I'm telling you the symbolism, the knowledge behind the word Amrit Vela or the knowledge behind Sandhya Kal, from where it came.
So you mentioned that it's easiest to be established in the isness because of this.
Mm.
How?
Ego is very weak at that time. And you've been aware the whole night. Yeah? The moment that awareness recognizes the change in the gear, something shakes inside the ego falls off and you can get established in that isness very easily. Something just falls off and that sinking feeling is that falling off of something, that rising from that sinking feeling is the coming back of something. This can only be experienced. Beyond a point, I cannot explain it. But scientifically, it has been discovered. In your EEG, when they do, the alpha activity of the brain suddenly changes in the EEG. Just for a few seconds. That's how science came to it. That why is this happening when somebody is waking out of anesthesia? And why is this again happening when somebody is just going to sleep after we've given them a shot of anesthesia? That's how science came to it. And then science gave these names. But really it was discovered in the scriptures in ancient times. So many things science has come up with later and it has been discovered in our scriptures in ancient times. This is one of them.
Will that happen if you start to fall asleep like now? During day or during...
You mean daydreaming? Yeah, so daydreaming also has been described in this, and they have another word for it. So that's a different state, not exactly the same. But daydreaming is also happening because of the ego.
It's like the ego guards are off at that point.
And there is a point where the guard falls off.
Hmm.
I mean, science, I'm not astonished they found it. I'm not astonished at all because I went to medical school. I understand about EEG. I can understand even there's a little change in that EEG, doctors become alert. So this is super easy to understand how they came up with this. But I'm amazed that a rishi who has been meditating, who has none of these techniques, who does not have an EEG machine, he recognized this. It's amazing how Sandhya Kal was found. It's amazing. Or Madhya Kal also they call it. Madhya. In between. It's in between. An in between state. An in between time. That's how the concept of meditating early in the morning has come up. Now people could not be so aware that from sleep suddenly that observe that gear and come into wakefulness. So saying, okay, as soon as you wake up, you just start singing bhajans or doing glory of God. One day, hopefully, you will become so aware, you will get there. You start experimenting. You don't have to believe Ekta. Very clear? You have to experiment this on your own. In the night, be aware, 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 aware. Going to sleep, be aware. Only the body sleeps. Remind yourself, I do not sleep. I am that isness. Only the body sleeps. Even the mind does not sleep. Going on dreaming, no? Only the body sleeps. Remind yourself, I'm going to be aware. Only can then, with few days and months of practice, can you start seeing this. But if some of you are already spiritually very high and evolved, you might see it immediately. Yeah? Have full faith that I will be able to see it. I have to just maintain awareness and let the body go into sleep. Yeah? That's your homework for tonight.
So, I'm aware while I'm sleeping, aware. But then I feel like in the morning I feel comfortable, but I feel that if I'm aware that I am
It's only a
getting
concept.
enough rest.
It's only a concept. You don't sleep anyways. Just a concept. You were really awake. You were worrying about why she said this to me and why he did not listen to me. You were awake. You were not aware. Even right now, you are awake but you are not aware. They're two different things. Yeah? You get lost in your thoughts. Are you aware?
Now you asked, yeah.
Yeah, you're lost in your thoughts. Yeah? Then you're not aware. If you're lost in your emotion, are you aware? You're lost. Are you getting it? So in the night also, you've been thinking about him and her and why this happened and why that happened. You were awake, you were not aware. The moment you become aware, thoughts fall off. Emotions fall off. You're just there in the present moment. समझ आ रही है बात? Are you getting it?
Before sleeping, if I've forgotten to do something which I'm supposed to do,
Yeah, it will go on and on.
and then it is like awareness. I cannot sleep there. That's the only awareness that.
No problem. Have patience. Okay, if it's going to take 1 year of practice for me, I'm going to practice awareness for 1 year. But I have to prove this to myself. Have that patience. Don't be in a rush with God. Has he been pushing you? Is he in rush that you attain Buddhatva now? Prema, right now you have to attain Buddhatva. No. God has not placed any condition on you. You also don't place conditions on yourself. Awareness. Just sharpen your awareness. It is very, very possible to experience this. That is why it is a technique given by a master. Yeah, there are many, many sages and saints and normal, aam admi like us. Mango people who can do it. We can all do it. It's very, very, very simple. Yeah. Just sharpening of awareness is required. Wake up. Every time you see you're gone, you're not just sleeping with your eyes closed. You sleep with your eyes open. Sharpen your awareness. Yeah. This is very much a possibility, just like it's being aware throughout the night is a possibility. You will know how many times you turned right and left, how many times you went on the back, and still wake up in the morning fresh, super fresh. Because in awareness, you dream less. Have you noticed this? Because you know you're dreaming. So dream drops off. It's an illusion, it's not real. Only when you become unaware do you dream. Patanjali said that one of the ways to get there is through the knowledge of sleep and dreams. Do you remember that? Yes. This is that knowledge. And becoming aware more and more in the night. In the Zen ashrams, the Zen masters used to give this as a practice. This is a practice. You do this for 1 year continuously. Every morning you were asked, were you aware in the night? Were you aware in the night? Because you tend to forget. Yeah. Every night before you go to sleep, the Guru would come at your door and say, were you aware all day? That's all. For 1 year. Every morning you're asked, were you aware in the night? And every night you're asked, were you aware all day? That's all that practice is. For a year you keep practicing, he says. Then I will give you any other knowledge. Till that time, you are not even capable of listening to. Just so strict in the Zen tradition. So practice, you can get there. It's not so tough. I'm not saying it'll take 1 year. I'm just telling you the tradition. But it's super easy. Remove that block from your mind. No, this is too tough. The moment you say too tough, you have built a block. And you will not be able to do it. You recognize your block, no? Write it down. Ego said it is hard. Finished. That means you've closed that possibility for yourself. Same thing your ego has done. Enlightenment is too tough. And you have closed that possibility for yourself. Now all I keep doing is knocking on that closed door every day. Every time I lead a knowledge session. So many doors I have to keep knocking loud, loud, loud. You open a little crack and you say, no, not possible, you close. That crack was open only for 2.5 days, still I'm there. Again it closes. You recognizing this is happening to you?
Yes.
Up. It's up to you. It's in your hands to break this open. Drop this, it is hard. I cannot do it. This is resistance. Be more and more aware. Here only in this session, be more and more aware. Then you won't sleep. You sleep because you have given yourself the permission to not be aware. It's very subtle. The ego does it. No, this is very complicated. Not interesting. Go to sleep. You've given yourself that permission. You go to sleep. Maybe you're not sleeping, but you're daydreaming. You've gone. That's how you lose certain important things that are taught during the knowledge sessions. And then you say, I didn't hear that. She didn't say that. He didn't say that. He said it. You were unaware. Are you getting it? Yeah? This closed door is in our hands to open.
Body can be tired too.
Yeah. See, one more. Who spoke? Who spoke?
No, but it's body has physical limitations, right?
Does the awareness get tired?
No.
Isness gets tired? सब excuses है हमने ही डाल के रखे हैं हम अपने ही बोझ के नीचे दब रहे हैं. We are burying ourselves under our own concepts and ideas. Those are a big burden. Wake up, break all ideas. Break up all ideas. Otherwise, so many people can have ideas. Oh, I am so old, I'm not going to get it. They will never get it then. Are you getting it? The young people think, oh, I have the entire lifetime. I don't have to get it now. They will also not get it. Are you getting this? We have imprisoned ourselves in our own ideas. Then when is the right time to get it? Young, you don't have to get it. Old, you don't have to get it. When will you get it? Wake up, wake up. Everything is just an excuse. Awareness does not sleep. Awareness does not get tired. The isness just is. The present moment is. Drop this resistance, break this resistance, and see yourself fly. Are you getting it? Now fly. High time. Amrit Vela Sachnao Vadiyai Vichar. During that time, in the Amrit Vela, what do? You remember him. Actually, you don't really need to remember him if you've been practicing the isness and you are aware, it will automatically happen. Yes? But for people who had not been practicing, it was told that remember him, do Surati. But really there is no need to do Surati or Naam Jap. Because your awareness itself takes you to the self. You are in the isness. Are you understanding it? But it was so tough. This is so tough to understand, no? This wakefulness moment or that going into the sleep moment. So they said, okay, in the morning when you wake up, you do the Naam Jap. The meaning was so difficult for the simple minds to understand or grasp, and who were not very aware. They said, get up in the morning and chant the name. Naam Jap, we call it Naam. And whenever Guru Nanak Dev Ji says Naam, what is it? Omkar. He's talking about that one. Omkar. Yes? You start doing that now. In Amrit Vela, you become aware. But you can't become aware suddenly in Amrit Vela. So you have to be aware throughout the day and throughout the night. And slowly, slowly you will get to that point. Vadiyai Vichar. It is his glorious singing or his glorious name. But again, there is no name to take. So people just start doing Om in that. But it's not possible only. It lasts a fraction of a second. Yeah, the gear changes so fast from sleep to wakefulness. There is no time. By the time you start taking the name, oh, it's gone. Are you understanding? You have to just be established in the awareness. That's good enough. Surati, remembrance.
So the times that you're aware, or the moments you're aware, that is Amrit Vela also.
No, again. That gear changing moment between wakefulness and sleep in the night is Amrit Vela, is Sandhya, is Madhyakal, whatever you want to call it. Again, the second gear, when you move out of sleep into wakefulness in the morning. The moment that gear changes, that few seconds, that is Amrit Vela.
It's Amrit Vela because the ego is diminished.
Correct.
But when you are in awareness, then also ego is diminished.
Not necessarily. You see your ego up there. You see your ego. Sometimes you're so aware. So how did an enlightened person like Ravana do something wrong? Are you getting it? So you can still see the ego. And it is in your hands to drop it and come back and be in that awareness, in the isness. But that's really the devious side, the higher side. On the other side, bahut dur hai. Don't even worry about it. It's not happening.
So the enlightened person
So
has an ego, but he has kept. So what I say, like even the enlightened person has an ego, but he has kept it aside.
हाँ, पार्किंग गैराज में पार्क पर सब निकाल लिए, गाड़ी चालू नहीं हो. So what is Amrit Vela? Tell me. Are you aware and awake now? What is Amrit Vela?
it's the time between this wakefulness and sleep.
And
Before going to sleep. From wakefulness to sleep. And from sleep.
and from sleep to wake. You're saying the same thing twice.
So at night when you go to
Did you get it? How long does Amrit Vela last?
seconds.
Fractions of seconds. Getting it? Yeah. Very, very clear? Yeah. So this is the new goal for you. Let me see, can I be aware all the time? When I can manage being aware during the waking hours and not sleeping, wake her up. When I can be awake during the waking hours, then my awareness sharpens even in the night. Yeah? Even during sleep, I start becoming aware. And then slowly, slowly, you will see both these windows, both the Madhyakals. Very clear? We didn't give two separate names in Sanskrit or in Punjabi. That's why I gave you the two separate names in English. At least you know they are separate. Very clear? Super clear? In Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna says the yogi never sleeps. What does this mean? He's aware throughout the night. He's always aware. This is the meaning of it. It does not mean that you're going to get enlightened and you won't sleep. The tamas will go away from your body. It's not happening. Forget about it. Yeah? The yogi never sleeps means he's aware throughout the night. Your awareness can become so super sharp that you will be aware throughout the night. This is a state that happens to many, many of us. Naturally, you start becoming more and more aware. People who've been meditating for a long time, who've been in knowledge for a long time, they themselves start noticing, yeah, I'm more aware than I was before I started meditation or before I started knowledge. How many of us feel that? Awareness has sharpened, na? So why doubt this possibility of becoming 100% aware? Drop the doubt, because your doubt will stop your progress. Are you getting it? You have progressed so much in awareness, you can come to 100% awareness. Yeah? 100% awareness does not mean being awake with eyes open. With eyes closed, you are aware. Super, super clear? Yes? No doubts? Yeah? In that awareness, you can watch the body go from sleep state into wakefulness, and you can watch the body again from wakefulness into sleep every morning and every night. And the easiest way you will identify it is that sinking feeling and that coming out of something feeling, rising feeling. Yeah? You will recognize it. Very clear? Karmi avai kapda, nadri mokh duar. By karmas, by doing karmas, this body is obtained. Yeah, kapda here is, what is kapda?
Body.
Yeah, but what is the literal translation of kapda? Cloth. Is he talking about this cloth that you're wearing? He's calling this as cloth, this body as cloth. Yeah, so this cloth that you are wearing is given to you only for whatever 80, 90, 100 years. It's not going to last forever. And he has given it to us. Yeah, it is obtained from him. How? Through my karmas. And how did I create karma again?
My likes and dislikes.
I have my own likes, I have my own dislikes, I hang on to them. The more I hold on to them, the more attachments build in life. Yeah. And I have this attachment, that attachment, that attachment, that attachment, that hatred, that is also an attachment. That fear, that is also an attachment. All these attachments I collect in my karma bag. But before I experience all the collection, what happens? I kick the bucket. Then I have to be reborn again because I desired for all these attachments that I've collected in my karma. Understood? Karmi is karma, basically. So, karmi avai kapda means whatever body I have attained right now is because of my karmas, my own attachments. Nadri mukh dwar. What is mukh? Moksh. Dwar? Door. So the door to liberation can be obtained by only His grace. Why? I do karma and I collect attachment and I can get this body. Why can't I do some karma and get moksha? Not fair. Why grace now suddenly in the middle? Nee, come on, tell me. It's logical, no?
Yeah.
Explain. Why? Not fair. Same line he is telling me two opposite things, contradictory. By my doership, I got this body. And only by non-doership, I will get moksha, not fair. Why?
There is no end to karma. I mean, you could keep doing it. That will never happen. You have to step out of it.
Huh.
It's like going from the wheel, outside of the wheel, to the center of the wheel.
Huh.
That's the only way you can be out of it.
Yeah, you have to understand why the karma is collected. Because of the ego, na? The ego collected the karma. What is moksha? Moksha from what?
Devoid of ego.
Yeah, what is moksha? What are you looking for really? What do you mean by liberation?
Karma, dropping from the
This whole cycle of birth and death. I'm stuck in the cycle of birth and death. Again, I do karmas, I collect them, I have these attachments, and my time comes, I have to kick the bucket, I die. Now, because of those karmas, again I'm born. So, who's doing this whole cycle of birth and death? Ego. The one who is doing this cycle, will he ever want to get out of the cycle? Are you understanding this? His biggest attachment is this cycle. He relishes, he gets rust out of this cycle. He's never wanting to get out of this cycle. That is why you can do and attain material stuff, but you can attain liberation out of this cycle by only not doing. Super clear? Break lagana, you have to break this cycle. How will you break? By not doing, because by doing only the cycle is going on.
So the grace happens when the ego is just.
The moment I drops. Nanak evai janiye sab aape sachiyar. O Nanak, know this very well, that the true one, Sachiyar, is the true one. He himself is all. All will be in capital. He is all. So he's actually giving you a solution to getting out of the cycle of the karma bondage that we are in, life and death. He's giving you the solution. And what is the solution?
Stop.
He is all. He is in all. Means
In everyone conscious.
yes. Recognize that isness in each one. In everyone recognize that isness. That's where we are all one. We are connected. We are actually different pearls. Different colors, different sizes. But there is one thread connecting each one of us. If you recognize that, very easily ego drops. You recognize that Malik is in everyone. That Sahib is in everyone. That Master is in everyone. And I am here only to serve. I am not here to take. I am here to give. The moment you recognize this, you will get out of this cycle of karma. That moksha dwar will open up for you. Most of us make so many mistakes. We think initially when we step into knowledge that just by reading the scriptures I'm going to get there. And you start running. Pad pad jag mua, pandit bhayo na koi. You kept reading and you never ever reach panditva. It's not happening by reading the scriptures. It's not going to happen by reciting the shlokas by heart. Guru Nanak was very clear. The day you see that Sahib, that Malik in everyone, your ego will drop. And the dropping of ego is the only way out. There is no other way. Forget about it. And that is why people go to Gurdwara and do seva. That somewhere I start. This is easier for me. Let me start here. But the teaching was you start in the Gurdwara, but you take that seva bhav back home. Yes, that I'm doing seva of the wife, of the husband, of the parent, of the child. Then slowly you take it to your community. I am serving this neighbor, that friend, that one. When you are in that bhav, will you ever feel he is taking undue advantage of me? Take. You want? Take. You are ready to give. Yeah? In fact, you feel hurt when they are not taking what you are giving. Please take. And then you thank when they take even, you take your first offering by giving again. Yeah? Where you totally become a servant. The ego has to rest again. Again. Because the ego keeps coming up. Are you noticing? You have to rest again. Again it keeps coming up. Again. Do you get it? That is how the Bhakt does seva. Yeah, otherwise you'll get confused. Oh, Karma Yoga path also has seva and Bhakti also has seva. But true Bhakti, devotion leads to seeing God in everyone and hence seva, because that is the only thing left after that. There is no more asking. There is no more I. It is all you. Yeah? Any questions?
Doesn't Karma Yoga also do that?
So Karma Yoga does not have that thing of you are Malik and I am servant. That servantship is not there. You need help and I am helping you. This is the way a Karma Yogi starts. This is not the way of the Bhakt. You see the difference? Yeah? The Bhakt starts with that direct connection with God.
In any serving, he sees only serving to God.
Serving to God. He does not see it's a man or a woman or a neighbor or an enemy from the past. No. He just sees God. He serves even the animals. He is not rude to even an animal. Even in an animal, he sees God. It's to that level. That is true bhakti. Yeah? Karma Yogi just sees you need help. I am here to help. Because you need help. There is still an I and you. And you need help. Are you seeing the difference? In a bhakt, the I has dropped. It's only you. You in this form, you in that form, you in that form, you in that form. but it's only you. So beautiful, no? So divine this is.
In Gurdwara, we still believe when you take out your shoes and you go in, there are people who do the seva of the shoes. They're cleaning with rag, everything, and polishing and everything. But they know, I'm polishing Guru Nanak's shoes.
Yes.
That's still Guru Nanak's. That's all it's.
That is true bhakti. Where you can even clean other people's shoes. Where your ego doesn't come up there also.
Should be golden temple. Same.
Yeah. Any Gurdwara is the same thing. Any Gurdwara, not just Golden Temple. Any Gurdwara you go, this is there. And that beautiful feeling in the heart that you have right now, just be with that. Just be with that. Don't spoil it by talking nonsense. Yeah. Just be with that during the lunch break and maintain that. Okay? Jai Guru.